Welcome back to the Badass Women of Hearthstone European Finals. €500 for the winner and a DreamHack ticket on the line. Got our first finalist, Marie Cochet, whose name I'm slowly getting better at. So we've got Incardia with us this time around for TheTeacher versus Kat. Incardia, how's it going?
Hi, I'm fine. How have you been doing this last match? It really was an intense one.
Yeah, incredible to see how Marie Cochet is so good at just playing to everything that can go wrong, working out. We saw it yesterday against Katrina. We saw it again there, and I think she's a worthy finalist. She's going to be tough to beat, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And thinking of it, she beat our Queen of Swiss area as well. So that will be interesting. And the one who's coming through in this match will face Aria then. To compete for this last spot in our finals today.
Yeah, double elimination, so she gets another go at it and does drop down to only have to win one more match, and she just gets another go. First of all, Kat and TheTeacher. What do you know about these players?
Yeah, I've played Cat earlier in the tournament myself, and I mean, she's pretty known for going up number one legend in on ladder last month, and Teacher did really good. She came in second for the Swiss rounds of the EU bracket in Badass Women of Hearthstone, so she will do pretty well, I think. Even though this is a rematch of yesterday where she had struggled with Katharina and her Hakar Druid, um,
Commonly known
which
as
we might
Stupid Druid.
see. Yeah. Which we might see today. The bans are not done yet. So um, this
Yes.
one is really difficult. I saw it on VOD this morning and didn't really think about it pulling off so well because looking at the stats, it's the worst deck for Cat regarding Teacher's lineup. But yeah, she piloted it very well and pulled off 2 wins with it. So I'm curious how this will turn out this time.
Yeah, it's a tough call for TheTeacher because she banned the warrior, which makes sense in the first match, but
Yeah,
also the druid that you say got those 2 wins, and also you don't really want to let Katrina play that spell hunter, even though in theory you line up quite well against it. Obviously, probably the best player in the world at that deck is not
yeah,
somebody you really want to let go. So TheTeacher's got a lot to worry about here, and I think Katrina did target TheTeacher slightly in round one as well with the deck lineups,
yeah.
knowing in advance. So bumping into her again is good news for Katrina.
Yeah, I think so. She's really on the heavy side of things with the matchups, and Teacher has a really tough time, not just regarding the bans, but the matches as well. Most of them are 50-50 or slightly unfavored for her, so
Yeah, she's got a pretty aggressive lineup, right?
yeah, she's bought the odd rogue and even shaman and even paladin. The shaman was banned last time, so maybe we'll see that. But I think it worked out pretty well for Cat to ban it last time, so
Yeah.
this might be a thing. And the deck that's most leaning to mid-range control for Teacher is the even paladin. I think the hunter, it's a mid-range kind of secret hunter that can get a little bit of time here and there, so this might end up in a longer run, but overall it's a pretty aggressive lineup for Teacher. And yeah, talking about stupid, somewhat Hakar Druid and this Hunter, that she had so many wins with Cat, seems to be in a pretty good spot overall.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but Kat getting motivated to play a lot of Hearthstone. She does a lot of writing, has a lot of other things going on, and suddenly someone on Reddit just said that her Hunter deck wasn't very good, and that just fired Kat up, and
Yeah.
that's why we're in this situation where we're now constantly talking about that double rank 1 legend, and the person on Reddit probably feels a bit silly about now.
Maybe, but yeah, it was good for something. So
Very much so, yeah. Yeah, Kat proving once again she can do it. She used to do well on Legend sort of back in the day, a long time ago, before she started doing the writing. But if she does get through this, if she does get to the DreamHack, then I think we'll see a very competitive Kat indeed at an event like that.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, we're here with a pretty intense EU bracket, and the top eight were pretty much unsure until the last 2 weeks or something. And it really was a blast. I've casted some of the matches earlier in the weeks, and I've played for myself, so it's really kind of personal to see all these girls going toe to toe in this last few rounds and competing for a great prize, I think.
And I think the whole event has helped sort of lift everybody up. Like you've all made a lot of friends and practice partners, and so everyone seems to have got a lot more confidence, a lot more people streaming than they were, and that sort of thing now
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's right. It's just kind of is a new community sort of things where everyone's just so nice and friendly, and all these matches, even though they were on a highly competitive level, it just felt like you're battling a friend or something, even though you might just have known them for 2 or 3 little chat lines.
Yeah.
So it's really a special atmosphere in the tournament, and it makes it feel more comfortable for women players or minority players in general, I think. Um,
I think it's
so
been good as well because you got to play against some of the best players in Europe, in players like
yeah,
Kat and Penny, Skorakai, who have been around. They've done a lot, so they've been able to pass on some of their experience. And also, it's been welcoming for those people. Trig was saying she'd not really played a tournament before, and suddenly you get 8 rounds of Swiss against people like yourself who haven't played much, and also people or much tournament experience, and also
yeah,
people like Penny, like Skorakai, like Katrina, who can teach you a thing or two over the game as well.
yeah. It's just been really great, and to see it all come to this end today, and I'm pretty sure we will have some intense matches going forward to the final. It's just kind of wrapping up, and all in general, like feeling great for all of these people. I'm just not rooting for anybody, because I feel like everybody, even though they are pretty different in skill level, and we of course have the best 8 players in the top 8 here. Um, they all just seemed kind of friends, and you don't want to root for one friend more than for the other.
Yeah, that's
So
something I learned last year. It got harder and harder as the year went by, as I met more and more players. Um, you get these sort of semi-finals and finals where someone says, "Who do you want to win?" And I'm like, "I don't want to say.
yeah.
I like them all." Um, but also, obviously, it doesn't end here. Next week, I think it is. It might be 2 weeks. I should check that, and I haven't.
It's
Um,
next week.
it's next week is the
Yep.
Americas finals. I'm just looking down that lineup. Karakute, Pathra, Dragon Rider, Orchestrate, Teebs, Hydralisk, Slisser, Future Shock. Pretty much
Yeah.
all household names already. So that's going to be another big one next week.
Yeah, it is, and it will be the second time this tournament gets hit by the nerves of Blizzard, because as we're playing here in the old meta, next week we will have all the nerfs coming up, and all the players are preparing to play with them. And yeah, we've had the nerfs that went live before the holidays, so before Christmas, which was really interesting to say the least.
Yeah, four of those players at least, just catching my eye there, were in that WSOE event where they had one day to prepare. So
Yeah,
a bit of deja vu for some of those. Might be a bit of an advantage going in. They've done it once already.
yeah, and now they have a week to prepare, which is helping as well, just to get this all sorted out. And I think it will be really interesting around next in the next week. And yeah, I'm just rambling a bit at the moment
Good.
because
That's
I'm
exactly what we do in this job. That's how it works. We'll get to talk about some Hearthstone when the Hearthstone starts, but rambling
yeah.
is what I do best. So yeah, feel free to carry on doing that. Apparently, we
Okay.
are still waiting for one of the players to actually just get on and get ready with it. So we may be rambling a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been told to keep rambling. Let's go. So you've been around the scene quite a while. You were at Seat Story last year.
Yeah, I've been more of the casual kind of players, and just spectating a lot of the esports side of Hearthstone. Went to, I think it's three Seed Story Cups. I was able to watch in person, and yeah, it's just been really interesting following that along, and seeing about this tournament. Um, I was convinced, and somehow convinced myself to, well, just give it a shot. I mean, there wasn't really something to lose for me, because um, I haven't built up any reputation in kind of esports related stuff. And yeah, seeing this whole experience in retrospective was just, for me, it was really great to meet all these people, all these really, really great players. And yeah, getting some more experience with Last Hero Standing. I haven't played any of that before, and um, they're really, um, from week to week, you have these great players to play against, and I've learned so much of what they were doing, and was able to adjust my plans as well. So
So we're going to see you in more Open Cups. That seems to be what the announcement was saying. Next year there should be quite a few Open Cups, and trying to qualify through those.
yeah, I mean, I'll try.
I mean, it sounds like they're probably going to be pretty big. So,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of people in those. But if there's a lot of cups, you get a lot of chances to keep honing those skills and have a chance of getting through.
Yeah, and for me, it would be worth it to just battle in these open cups and see one or two or even more of the faces I've came across in Badass Women of Hearthstone, to just make it through to the finals or anything of that cup. So um, I'm just waiting to paint all these little flags and badges to cheer them up in the background.
Did you manage to get sort of playtest partners through this as well? I know a lot of women complain they don't really get the chance to playtest as much as maybe some of the men. So has that helped at all?
Yeah, it for me it helped to find more confidence first. So I'm more of the target dummy for the other people to just smash and look what's working against certain decks. But That's
even
fine for me.
even some of the massive groups say they tend to. I'm not going to name names, but some of the big sort of world class players still have their target dummy who's always online, and
Yeah.
those players tend to do really well in their own right because of what they pick up from the other players in the groups.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bans are the same, we're being told, as the first time around. Cat's Warrior has been banned, which means we get to cast the Druid deck, leaving that one to you.
Okay.
And then there's the Shaman is banned for the Teacher. So that leaves Odd Rogue, Even Paladin, and Spell Hunter for the Teacher. And Katrina's got her own Spell Hunter, sorry, Secret Hunter for Teacher.
Yeah.
Spell Hunter, Odd Paladin, and Mill Druid. Gone. I'll be nice. Card Druid, stupid Druid for Katrina.
Druid
And
stuff.
Katrina has always liked play. I mean, one of the reasons I've been calling it stupid Druid is Katrina, whenever the opportunity has arisen throughout all of her playing career, has picked the most stupid Druid deck she can find and played it. So I'm quite happy calling any Katrina Druid stupid Druid.
Yeah, we'll just have a few more moments to get in the game. So, what are you thinking? You were kind of like on the outside most of the time for this tournament, but you've seen quite a lot, I think. So, what are you thinking about the experience overall?
It's been really good to watch. I know when it started up, I felt that the women in the community didn't really sort of know each other well enough, and I feel that just on Twitter in particular, you can see that the vibe has changed,
Yeah.
and now the women are all being friendly. It's time for the men to join in and be friendly too, I think.
Yeah, I really hope so. And we
Hopefully,
can,
it's a big example to the world that this tournament has set.
yeah, and I've heard we can jump right into the game.
Awesome.
So we'll see the stupid druid, as you called it, from a cat against the hunter, secret hunter from teacher first.
Okay, so the druid will have a bit of a tough time here getting everything done. And we're actually going to see the screen now, which will help me no end. Well, I don't think it'll help me that much at all, to be honest, but it'll help me a little bit.
It's really great to see these, but thinking about the hunter was the deck that actually beat the Hakka Druid last time, as far as I'm thinking correctly, and it has a great win rate overall, and it's coming to a pretty good start here with the Dire Maul and the Snake Trap in hand to trigger the Spellstone for the first time, which will also be interesting next week. And maybe we'll see some of it. Maybe it's just too expensive by then.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that next week's players are going to have to deal with. It's very hard to visualize sometimes just how much impact one mana difference is going to make. It should make a lot of difference, but we have seen with cards like Spreading Plague that the deck can still adapt and move on. And so it will be interesting to see. It's still a very powerful card, and it's still going to be a big threat. But that extra turn of slowness, especially with no coin, could well just rule it out.
That will be a bit of a problem if you're going first as the hunter player. Speaking of coin, we see it in Teacher's hand this time, and she's just going pretty aggressively because, yeah, she as well knows the matchups. She's played against Cat yesterday, and we'll see a board clear here, I think.
Yeah, Huffer wasn't really the role she was looking for, oddly enough, although a lot of damage has gone in.
It's just the armor gain for the druid is really what's giving you some kind of problem here. and the low health on your minion most of the times. So this is just a 4/4, but it might get problematic, seeing that it's the spring paw here to clear it up. And
Yeah, this has worked out well because Katrina's next turn was going to be spectacular with the Acolyte of Pain, the Pyromancer, and all the card draws. Still going to get that
yeah,
card draw, but not going to clear anything up in the process now.
yeah, it's just not as much as she could have done with the Pyromancer on board. And this hand for Cat really doesn't look that great, considering that Teacher has at least the animal companion and things to follow up, but um, playing the spring paw or the links here would give Cat another card draw. So this time Hoffer comes in handy, kind of, if you want to think about killing the acolyte at least.
Yeah, and some good ordering there as well. If the Leok had been rolled, then obviously the links could have gone into the Acolyte and one-shotted it to deny a card too.
Yeah,
So just getting all the options available first.
and I've totally missed that that's the links with the dire frenzy on it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So that would, of course, have dealt with it anytime. But yeah, it's a pretty aggressive start for Teacher here, and not much to follow up from Kat's side of the board. She's just the reactive one at the moment, didn't draw as many cards as we saw her drawing yesterday, which is great for Teacher because I think, considering the other matchups, this can just go for 2-3 either way. So
Yeah,
that
and
would be
Katrina not
great.
getting that auctioneer, which is the fuel for all that card draw you're talking about.
Yeah, and she's missing that at the moment.
Still got that second Pyromancer, so that's going to be pretty handy. But the another 4/4 I think was drawn. I can't actually tell because I'm not hovering over. I'm only getting the screen share. But
Yeah, the spring pause just the second one, the normal 1/1 here.
okay,
And we're
explains why it
seeing
wasn't
another
ahead.
board clear for Cat, which is nice because, to be honest, 12 health isn't that much.
So subject 9 if wanted, but also the option just now you've seen both Pyromancers to make the 3/3s from the Spellstone, clear at
Yeah,
the Pyromancer and say, I don't think you can deal with this. What are you going to do?
yeah, there won't be that many chances for Cat to come back if she's developing this 9 damage she has in hand at the moment, because we only saw the snake trap. There wasn't any other secret played
Mm-hmm.
yet. So the spellstone just gives you 3 wolves, but it's thinking. I think teachers thinking about playing the subject 9 here, but that um, might just be not enough pressure to get
Yeah,
a cat to react.
it feels like a trap to do that and sort of slow yourself down by a whole turn just to get one extra wolf. So making
Yeah,
Cat use all this up again. Worst case, you lose these, but the auctioneer loses a lot of its power.
yeah. All these small spells that um, she has to use to get rid of those wolves here, and one's still standing. Um, just help her to stabilize this board much better than she had been able to in the last game. And
So Teacher obviously thinning that deck out now, and Katrina just has very little to deal with this.
Yeah, and seems like she could also just hero power here. Um, to uh, get this lethal done because
Hmm.
I mean we're seeing in caster vision that Cat doesn't have much gas to deal with this board, and
I think, though, in fairness, from where the teacher sat, she should be able to work out that Cat's had to use a lot of stuff.
yeah,
So this is your time. The secrets aren't going to do that much. Cat's not attacking you with minions, and Hunter secrets tend to rely on that. So, yeah, Cat's just desperately trying to stay alive here.
yeah, and it's 8, but
Just not enough
with the
there.
hero with even with the hero power, it's just not enough. It's lethal on the board, so getting the druid out of the way so you can join me casting and talking again.
That's the whole point, though. That's interesting. Um,
Ah,
so 1-0 for the teacher, and that's a big deal, as you say. That druid deck did win twice in their first meeting,
yeah,
and the teacher getting the better of the picks there.
yeah, and but I think Cat was planning to get rid of this druid first to just kind of scout what teachers bringing this time around. So she knows the secret hunter and has pretty good matchups left with her decks. And we are moving to the second game here, which will be the Hunter Mirror. So we'll see the famous spell hunter against this secret hunter of teachers.
Yeah, and Kat has been streaming most of the progress as well towards that rank 1 legend. So give Kat a follow on Twitch and on Twitter
Yeah,
to keep up with her exploits. See if she can do it again next month. Although she probably has to do some writing at some point, I should imagine, especially with the nerfs.
yeah. I think pushing that 2 month in a row would be pretty ridiculous. But
Yeah, I think she's
um,
proved the point now. She doesn't need to prove to Reddit for the rest of her life that she was right all along.
yeah, that will just. I don't think it will be a once in a lifetime thing, but um, it can just stay as it is for at least a few weeks or month until Reddit is forgetting everything like the internet
The
normally does.
internet forgets things. I wish.
The people in the internet forget things, but normally you can just search for them later. So
Yeah, that's the worrying bit. Okay, so teacher has drawn, well, I was going to say a semblance of curve, but it is only a little bit, really.
yeah,
And not wanting to throw this hyena out there so early, but no other play, really, I don't think.
yeah, hero power wouldn't make any sense here, and this hand for teacher isn't really that good because you don't want to throw the kill command out that early normally, and especially with a cat just searching for another secret, which most likely will come down next turn. I mean, she's got the deadly shot, but that would just have a 50-50 to kill the hyena, and she could of course go for the animal companion. Hoffer was really great help in the last games,
Mhm.
so that that might be a thing. But we saw a red trap coming out of the secret plan, so this is not really something you want to play the early in this situation. But yeah, Cat's really considering here, I think, if she's going for the kill command or not, deciding for the hero power in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, and also it makes it look like you've got something interesting to do if you take your time as well.
Yeah, of course.
So that's always worth a bit of a pause. So
It's
Katrina,
always something I'm so bad at. I'm just
yeah, I think that's one of
what
the
I'm
things that
playing.
comes.
It's
Well,
like
you just play quick.
yeah, most of the times.
I mean, it suits some players. Some players like Zixo, Casey, Breath. When Breath used to play, yeah, those players just don't play much better when they play slowly. They find it breaks their rhythm. I mean, there are times when those players make mistakes because of it, but they feel that they've played the matchup so many times that they'd rather go on their instinct and put the opponent under a bit of time pressure.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about playing the red trap here is that we know there's not much to come from it at the moment, but teacher doesn't know it, and she might consider that this is an explosive or a freezing trap at the moment because cat attacked into the diamol, and this might just keep teacher from attacking this turn altogether because you don't want to lose this hyena
Yeah,
this early to an explosive trap or something.
yeah, you'd be crazy to attack into this lot, I think, and Cat knows that, so she just goes to the rat trap.
Yeah.
But
There is consideration to the spring paw. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, yeah, this deals with anything that your opponent may do, so at least gives you a chance if your opponent plays minions or spells that generate minions in the deck's
Yeah.
case, to trade into them. Keeps something alive, and it's going to pay off now because she's going to have the Diamol survive, which is going to allow her to at least try and get a Razormaw onto it.
Yeah, the Razormaw, or at least the. I think she's going for the Lynx and the Razormaw to maybe get rid of this wolf here. Or, yeah, just the flanking strike that I totally missed she had in hand.
Yeah, well, she managed to test for the secret, and I think she almost felt, because she did nearly attack last turn, that because most people when they attack into what they think is an explosive trap and it doesn't go off, take quite a while. But she was more than ready just to straight up follow it up. So I think she had a feeling that there's a good chance it wasn't the explosive, but you still couldn't take the risk of attacking in.
Yeah, and with just the Diamol on board, you feel pretty decent to just lose one minion if it's either freezing or an explosive trap. Now you have an interesting decision for Cat because she's going for the baited arrow with the attack before, so she can get this 5/5 onto the board.
Yeah, that
Which,
was nicely worked, I think.
yeah, it might die to the Razormaw or a kill command if teacher is really wanting to use that here. Because 5/5s in the face normally hurt pretty much. So
Yeah, they do hurt. And they control boards pretty well as well.
yeah. Oh, that's a tracking that really doesn't feel good. Normally, you would the first pick would go to the Zul'jin, and she's picking it here because it has the most value. But you're throwing away an explosive trap, and to my side, which did help her a lot in the last games. Getting these two animal companions normally is at least pretty decent.
Yeah, and next turn, I think the reason we saw the deadly shot there is this Rock de la is just going to come to town. But the teacher's setting up a lot of damage slowly but surely here.
Yeah, and this will get interesting if it's not anything Cat can handle with whatever comes out of the Rock de la.
Yeah, and I mean she's going to take one turn where she's just a sitting duck. She's going to take a whole chunk of damage next turn.
Yeah.
It's not a massive amount, but it's getting enough, especially with the direct damage that Teacher will have available too.
Yeah. At the moment, considering the hero power, you go too far, and Cat seeing it here that isn't really the one you want to go for, because playing Rockdala without having the coin would just leave you with a full hand and nothing to play afterwards. So
Just one moment.
yeah.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Following some production advice. There we go.
And now we just have a bunch of 1/1s here, which feels better for Cat to handle. But yeah, she's missing this explosive trap, which she should have 2 of. Yeah, she has in her deck, but one got mollied away with the tracking. Maybe she can find another way to deal with this bunch of minions, because you're sitting at 16 health and taking quite a lot here.
I was going to say, yeah, not for long. And Teacher being very careful now with being so close to working those hero powers. It's just 2 hero powers from victory.
Yeah. And seeing Rockdala just having a secret plan here might get Teacher to a 2-0 lead, and putting Cat on back foot. This Hunter worked really, really well for the ladder, and it did also in the tournament, but it's time to shine just went down pretty quickly.
Yeah, 2-0 down. Say it every time in last hero standing is a bad spot to be in. Cat does still have the odd paladin, so if you want to get it done with a deck, odd paladin. Well, I think Hunter's usually the deck you want to get it done with, but odd paladin can certainly just go straight through lineups sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is able to sweep through Teacher's lineup, but it has to get really good with card draw. We're just seeing the Cauldron here.
Let the hunt begin.
Yeah, so what do you feel about Cauldron versus Divine Favor? Which one do you prefer?
Normally I like playing Divine Favor over Cauldron, but there are some pretty good spells you can get from a Shaman hero, from the Shaman class. So it helps with finding answers that you don't normally have in your disposal as a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really worth a shot at this point.
Yeah, I think also Katrina may have been expecting the more aggressive lineup, which she was right to. So sometimes that Divine Favor just doesn't do a lot, whereas the Cauldron does.
Yeah.
And so it's very much personal taste and what your lineup is tailored to beat. I prefer Divine Favor by a million miles, but I can definitely, as I said earlier, I'm not going to argue with Katrina because she always ends up on top of it.
Yeah, and thinking about Teacher's lineup, the Cauldron is definitely the better choice here. And Cat's starting pretty aggressive with a white board. And seeing this explosive trap in hand for Teachers, really feeling considerable. She's going for the Wandering Monster here.
Yeah, I think she's going to save the explosive trap for an even more terrifying board, especially when she's got a little bit set up herself, maybe. And
Cat knows that she wants to trade in her small dudes anyway, so this board wasn't long for this world anyway.
Freezing Trap, however, may sit in hand for considerably longer. Not that much use in this particular matchup, but this Hyena is going to go pretty crazy.
Especially with the Spring Paw in hand. And you can just Hyena, Spring Paw coin, Spring Paw here. And Cat will only be left with 1 minion. But Teacher's going the defensive route here, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think the idea is just to run Cat out of stuff and then make your big stuff later. That's a good pickup, obviously, for Cat here. The Corridor Creeper. That's why
she's doing the hero power first.
Yeah, she's not scared of this. She may not even attack here. I mean, what can the Teacher put down that's scary in the time being? But if the stuff does eventually gets wiped out, then obviously that Corridor Creeper becomes a big deal.
Yeah, it will soon cost very less than 7 mana. And now you have this 6/4 Hyena. And there will soon be not much left to contest, because this board will get wiped away in some point.
Yeah, first Hyena is going to bite the dust, though, and Katrina picking up that Tyrion, which you've always got to be aware could be a Tarim as well.
Yeah.
Is going to be massive for her, and yeah, she's developing now a pretty scary looking board.
And Teacher doesn't really have anything to follow that up. She's got the Freezing Trap, which really doesn't do much in this case, and the Hunter's Mark at least kills the Corridor Creeper here.
Yeah, Teacher really needs to pick up one of those Death Knight cards, or the hero cards, as we're supposed to call them.
Yeah, or she's running Master's Core, which would at least give her another 3 minions to deal with this board. Yeah,
Master's Core, one of the big cards, I think, that's really made all these Hunter decks viable alongside, the Rexars and Zul'jins. I think Master's Core has been regarded as maybe one of the best cards of the last set.
Yeah, it's really one of these cards that at least made the kind of beast mid-range hunter, or like this secret hunter that has many beastie minions, somehow viable, because hunters always missing card draw. Like since beta, where the Starving Buzzard was a 2 mana or something.
With the Hounds, that sounds like a good card. I'd play that combo.
Yeah. I remember playing it like 2 or 3 times in the beta, and was just it wasn't long for this world, and that's good it wasn't.
I think it was I might be wrong here, but I think it was the first card to really get the "you're never playing it again" treatment when it got nerfed.
Yeah.
I have seen Death Star try it in this deck a couple of times, but he keeps taking it out again when he does.
Yeah, and now Teacher's staring at a full board of small dudes and a 10/10, which is...
Play
really...
Freezing Trap really quickly and hope that Katrina makes a mistake.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I think that's the route to go here, because there's nothing really you can do against this 10/10, and she's keeping the Freezing Trap here, which will put her at single-digit life. And
looking at that hand here from Katrina, this one's going to be 2-1 anytime soon.
Yeah, this razor maul won't help anything in this case. So the hunter had its time, and now we're going to see the fourth match, going to 2-1 for Teacher, and Cat has to reverse sweep with her Paladin,
Which she
to
could do. I mean,
stay.
she's got the Rogue to take on and the even Paladin. They're both very winnable, especially the Rogue game. So could come down to this Paladin mirror.
Yeah, this Paladin mirror will be interesting because normally Teacher's slightly favored in it, but it's not that huge. So it really comes down to the card draws and these. Of course, the Stonehill defenders can always do some miracle kind of things, getting a Tarim or the Tyrion, which we haven't seen played in this game. Um, I think Teacher's really taking her time here to consider if she wants to go for the slightly better percentage and lead with the Paladin, or if she just wants another shot and tries the odd rogue first.
Yeah, it's all about how you feel on the day. When it comes to these choices, you've got to get it done with one of them. Do you really want to be in a position where you've got your hardest match last, when you may be feeling a bit more nervous, or do you want to just try and get it over with now so you don't have to play that harder matchup? It's all about how you feel, how comfortable you are. Different people do it different ways.
Yeah, and Teacher is pretty comfortable with queuing her Paladin in, and we'll see how this turns out.
We will indeed, and she's going to have to throw some of this away. 6 drops against a deck that's making 2 1/1s every turn don't end well.
Normally they're not that good, yeah.
But she should be, if she can get hold of the board early. She may choose to keep the Swampoos. That's an interesting call for her because just because of the 3/2 body, it's not the greatest card though.
Yeah, it might. She might consider throwing it away for later stage of the game where you want to get rid of the vine cleavers and that stuff. And she was obviously really looking for this corpse taker she got in hand.
Yep, corpse taker, the defining card.
And the chain gang helps as well to slow down Cat's aggression here. And
yeah, it turns out Chain Gang's still a good card.
Yeah, it's just not a good card in Shadowwook Shaman anymore, but
oh, what a shame.
Shadowwook Shaman anyway these days.
Yeah. Who wanted Shadowwook Shaman to be good? Nobody. Well, maybe Cora. I think she likes it, and Dr. J. But yeah. Oh, and production apparently.
And production, yeah.
So we're in the minority. Everybody seems to love Shadowwocks.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's such a bad deck to lose against because it takes you hours to lose.
I think we did have a lot of fun with Shadowwock, though. I think I'm glad the card existed and that the deck was around, but also glad they've made it a lot harder to use. I think we'll see the card again. I don't think it's dead. It's just not insane anymore.
Yeah, that's
all the good stuff's
going to some returns, I think. And yeah, this hand for Teacher really doesn't look that great, even with the coin. I think she's using it to get the corpse taker out, or she's going for the chain gang here.
Yeah, if she can get the board cleared with a chain gang first, and then maybe make way for the corpse taker, maybe that divine shield will stick around a turn. But Katrina's going to draw a million cards here.
I think she has to consider not drawing too many, because she'll might just burn something, but this forked lightning really helps to get rid of these
Yeah,
chain gangs.
not only do you get the card drawing the aggro mirrors with a cauldron, but also like the cheap shaman spells that you sort of forget. When you play Hagatha and you get these garbage spells, a lot of
Yeah.
them are really good at dealing with little minions. So it's actually quite good in aggro mirrors for that reason as well.
Yeah, it is. It's forked lightning or something is normally nothing you would consider in your normal deck building, but it comes in handy here. So teachers staring at not really that huge of a board, but it's not the best board to get the corpse take on as well, because it its divine shield won't stay long,
Yeah.
definitely. And she's even considering
Yeah, just to
Spellbreaker.
get rid of this cauldron that's doing so much damage is something she's thinking about there.
Yeah, because there are these interesting shaman cards called Bloodlust, and thinking about a deck that's so wide on the board normally, you don't want to have too many options for your opponent to get something like that.
Yeah, this is a bit terrifying because the prospect of Fungalmancer would have just dealt with this so nicely going
Yeah.
into this turn, but almost got away with it, and then the Rockbiter weapon is just going to clear it up.
Yeah, and she got the mole as well, where the cauldron and the elemental would have got another additional attack. So that would have been another way to deal with the corpse take, at least.
Starting next turn, though, the Blessing of Kings and the decent minions, the Pyromancer's here now as well. So the teacher still has a lot of fight left here. Obviously, Katrina's winning the early exchanges and all this card advantage, but hasn't really made massive progress given that this lot is just about to get cleared up.
Yeah, and teachers having the great turns in front of her with all the big stuff she can just put onto the board, or if she really wants to, she can just clean up here with pyromancy quality.
Yeah, and I don't think she wants to, but I think she feels like she's been called into having to.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing both hands. That
Yeah,
as casters, you feel like this kind of was not the best decision, but on the other hand, you saw a 10-10 last turn, and if Cat's having this in hand again, which we know she has, you don't want to deal with that in this situation.
yeah.
So
I mean, there was the option, of course, to do it when the 10-10 is made and save it for that opportunity. But she felt that there was a lot of pressure coming in. I think she was getting fed up with that cauldron, to be honest.
yeah, that might just be the best reason as well. And yeah, considering her life gain here this early.
Katrina now going to get into the situation there where she can play the weapon and just start taking over. Seeing one of those pyromancers is a big deal. Means that she
Yeah.
can worry about a lot less. She's considering this Earth Shot by the look of it. Katrina's nice like this. She does this to help us out. I'm sure she does. I'm sure she doesn't hover over cards in normal play. I think it might also be a thing when you stream. You get used to hovering over the cards you're thinking about to show your viewers.
Okay.
I'm being told it was actually production who hovered over to help us out. Don't. I'm not giving Robson enough credit today. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a great job, and they did as well yesterday. So It's just I called production my bird in the ear. Yes, last time I was casting because I totally forgot about when the finals will happen. So
Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody in your ear, which we have here today, helping out, especially when you're old and adult like me and need a lot of help.
yeah, I mean not the youngest either. So
I
we
don't know.
can.
I've done a bit of production and cast at the same time before, and believe me, you do not want to do that if you ever get the opportunity. You're busy there trying to follow games and fix stream problems and talk about the game at the same time, and no, it's not fun. Or, I mean, it is fun for the viewers because everything goes horribly wrong, but it's not fun for you. So yeah, pleasure to have people helping us out with all this.
Yeah. And
There's a 10-10.
and the 2-5 and a whole bunch of 1-1s. So teacher's staring down, pretty aggressive and bored at the moment, but she might just think about the Tyrion here.
Yeah, she's not going to be keen though. Like if you wave a Tyrion at this board and hope it all goes away, there's just more stuff coming.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, what on earth else can you do?
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. You could play double consecration, but that won't help you with the 10-10 or the 2-5, and it would just waste your resources. So teacher really is on the back foot at the moment, even though Cat's lower in health. And I'm seeing a fungal mancer
Yeah,
here.
that's just nice to get through this Tyrion and protect your 10-10.
Yeah, and I think she would.
I think she's counting how much damage might come back at her on the other way, though. Because she is down to 16, and yeah, there's a lot of buffs in his deck. So I think she just took a moment to make sure that she wasn't actually going to die. That's part of the reason for the Stonehill here.
Yeah. It's, I mean, this helps her staying alive and staying on the board even better, even considering to trade here to get rid of the maybe problematic Spike Ridge Steed and stuff, but that's
Equality was the card that she needed right there.
It won't be much longer, but in this case, it really just saves teacher the day.
Yeah,
That's
very much
also
so.
a card that we'll might see next week in a bit of another situation, because equality is getting nerfed by 2 mana, which is totally ridiculous to me.
It is a lot of mana. I think they needed to, but even so. Avenging Wrath is in this deck for Teacher, by the way, as is Argent Commander. She's got one of each, so Consecration plus either of those would be a pretty good deal. And there is the Avenging Wrath! And swinging around a game that looked like she was in trouble. Can she get through here and do enough?
If she's going for the consecration,
Yeah.
and trading in the Silverhand recruit, which
But she can't trade in her face, but it should be okay anyway. It should still work out.
I mean,
then she can put her face into attack Katrina.
She could have now. It's not enough mana here.
So she needs this to not go all face. Well, all face is fine. Needs to kill the Lich King or kill the Lich King.
Yeah, and neither of those happens. That's really, really unfortunate for her.
Well played.
Oh, wow. That was insanely close, and we are going to go to game number 5. Looked like Katrina had it all the way, and then that pickup of the Avenging Wrath.
Yeah, it looked like teacher was able to get back if the almighty RNGesus is with you here.
Yeah, several
But
chances for that to work for her, but it didn't work out. I think she was a slight favourite. It was on 5 health, right? So she only needs to hit it 4 times, which is better than 50-50. So, yeah. Katrina survives and gets into a favourable game number 5.
yeah, we will see the odd paladin against the odd rogue now, and this one's really hard for teacher to win. But if she's having these explosive starts like odd rogues tend to have these days, it might as well just be possible that there's she's not lost it yet.
Of course, if people are wondering why Paladin is favoured against Rogue, because it wasn't always, I don't think. No fan of knives in Odd Rogue. You're too aggressive. You can't play cards like that. You're playing all these things that hit your opponent in the face.
Yeah.
But Katrina has got a pretty grim-looking hand there.
Yeah, that hand doesn't look great, and teacher has some really great tools to handle the hero power from Cat with these tar creepers in hand, and I would consider at least keeping one of them.
Yeah. She wants to keep the Hench Clan Thug as well. Oh, she's keeping them both and throwing away the Thug, and she's just going to go full defense.
Yeah. I mean, this might be the way for teacher to get it done if you can't rush faster than the paladin. You might as well just get him out of resources. Or
yeah, there's a
in
lot
this
of one.
case,
A lot of 1/1s die to a 3/5 defender, and
Yeah.
obviously the Firefly is just a nice little pickup to fill out that curve. Again, especially when your opponent's things all have 1 health.
yeah, this Firefly most likely will just deal with the first hero power from Cat this turn. Not all at once, but you as well have your hero power to maybe kill the other Silverhand recruit, or I would also consider this going face somehow, but
Yeah, I think
She's-
controlling the board is so key, and she can afford to use the attacks as well because she's got a very cheap hand. So she can use it and redagger not immediately, but in a couple of turns' time. And there's an unstable mutation, which is massive if she can get some damage through for obviously closing the game out.
yeah. And teachers was thinking about the defensive game all along, so controlling this board really seems like the best way to deal with this matchup at the moment. But you're seeing a pretty decent hand. I mean, the corridor creeper's just at 2 mana at the moment, and it will get to 0 pretty fast.
Yeah, Katrina's hand has developed nicely. Suddenly this Cauldron's looking good. The Fungal Mancers are there. The Frost Wolf, everything's just going to suddenly start doing a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, and these Blessings of Might just help her to get through the taunt if she can develop something that can stay on the board.
Well, that's one way to deal with the Cauldron. Just don't let your opponent have things. But next turn's the key one. Can she keep that board clear going into the Fungal Mancer turn? And Cat, obviously, knowing this, has just gone as wide as possible to try and allow the Fungal Mancer to do something. And there's the temptation. It's like, well, you can't Vile Spine this turn. Do you want to waste resources killing this scary-looking 5/5, which will allow me to Fungal Mancer, or do you want to try and kill off the 1/1s, which you were going to do originally?
And she's deciding for this 5/5 at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's forced because otherwise the Tar Creepers get killed. So
yeah,
nicely worked there, I think. But this time the Cauldron has options to draw cards, or again, Just a fungal monster. It doesn't do a whole lot though.
Yeah, it just kills one of the tar creepers, and the other one will still survive while you wouldn't have any board presence whatsoever.
So nothing worked out. So Cat going with just the hero power plus the Stonehill, and of course picking up Tarim. As I was saying earlier, is just one of the best cards you can get in pretty much any matchup, but especially in this one.
Yeah, it's you have a wide board anyway, and you just want to make use of it because they are not all 1/1s anymore. And this taunt will get cleared up pretty easily.
We're seeing how good these tar creepers were as a keep in the opener for the teacher. They are just taking forever to get rid of.
Yeah. And this, I mean, Cat's hand doesn't look bad, especially, but you could use the mole she was just drawing to get rid of this tar creepers for good, but
She has such an advantage in cards right now. Obviously, the unstable element may equalize that, and the teacher may be forced to go for that next turn, depending on what she picks up. Just to, obviously, she'll start fatiguing like crazy, but just to keep up, she may have to go for it. Otherwise, she is going to get overwhelmed. Not a nice spot to be in.
yeah, and this Void Ripper doesn't seem like the pickup you want to deal with this board, so she might just go for the unstable element here.
Yeah, here we go. So that puts the clock on herself, but obviously getting a whole lot of stuff to work with.
Yeah.
You're normally looking for that direct damage, but actually the double diamole and some board control here probably better for her in this particular situation because Cat's still on 27.
Yeah, and she's picked up at least one Wildspine Slayer, so if Cat gets to develop her board as big as Tarim turn coming up, she has at least a way to deal with that one to get as much damage through. And I mean, she's got the hero power and the deadly poisons, but deadly poison doesn't seem good in this case.
Yeah, unless you're hitting face with it, but you're not in a hurry to do that. Well, you're in a bit of a hurry, but yeah, you can't take too much damage unless it does control the board.
Yeah,
But this fungal man set, ooh, lovely.
That will get rid of most of the board. With the hero power, you can just push one phase, and Cat's in the same weird position as she was before, where she has pretty good cards that work with a great board, but she doesn't have any board at the moment, and so these all seem kind of clunky. And the pickup of the raid leader here isn't really that good either.
Yeah, Cat needs to decide here. I mean, she knows full well there's a massive chance that Vile Spine's in hand with activators, but she needs to see if there's any other way she can win the game. She's got to weigh up if she can survive 2 or 3 more turns, which, against this rogue hand that you're expecting, there might be a Leroy in there you're not having fun with. Or she's got to weigh up, look, do I play Tarim, which just doesn't really do much, but it does fend off 2 of these. Buy some time, give myself some 3/3s, and hope that it doesn't die. And these options are not fun here at all for Cat. I think we'll see Cat go with the Hero Power, Cauldron, Argent Squire, something like that. Try and get herself some removal spells.
Yeah, I think that might just be the way to go here, because this board state, you don't want to play the Tarim and get... Okay.
She's decided that she can't beat the other options. She knows full well it's probably going to get Vile Spined.
Yeah.
But also, if she thinks that she can't win the other way, then somebody's just got to hope that the Vile Spine's got burned. And that's what she's going for.
Yeah, because this board, it might I mean, it looked kind of scary before, but seeing 5 3 3s on your opponent's side of the board, that you are most likely responsible of, really isn't that great for you to start.
It is like one or
And
two off lethal as well. It's really close.
I mean, she's at 15, 17, about
It's not quite lethal,
21.
but it's really close. So this double deadly poison plus the vile spine. I think she'll trade though because she still has lethal next turn.
Yeah.
No reason to give Cat some sort of crazy Leroy plus buffs out.
Yeah, but she's at 17 health, and I'm not really sure if there is a way. I mean, we're seeing the Leroy, but he just does 6 damage, which won't be enough in this situation. I mean,
Yeah, and
he
it looks
could
like the
do
teacher's
7.
going to go through.
Yeah, that doesn't really look that great. And she's picking up the rush minion.
Oh, she's going to get even more cards. Needs some tasty zaps though. I don't think there's going to be any way
Yeah,
through. Throws out the well played.
that won't help, and that's the end of Cat's road to victory here. And Teacher will go up against Arya in the next game.
Yeah, that's the lower bracket final. The winner of that will get to take on Maria Shea in the grand final.
Yeah. Will be a really intense one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that's going to be cast. This lower bracket final is going to be cast by Run and Tiki Wiki, I believe. So
Yeah.
take a moment and leave you in their capable hands. Who do you think is going to win it all, Incardia?
I mean, she's our queen of Swiss, so I think I'll go with Arya here. But Marie Cochet definitely did a really, really great job. And Teacher, I mean, everything's possible in this case, but I think I'm most likely going with Arya. How about you?
I'm going to cheat and just say Marie Cochet is going to take it down because she's got 2 chances. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick the easy road on that one. But yeah, Arya's had a fantastic year, starting with that WSG win. And again, I don't know much about the teacher other than she's from Portugal, but she has shown with 7-1 in the Swiss and that she's obviously not to be messed with. So we'll take a break and we'll get back to you very soon with that lower bracket final and with Run and Tiki Wiki casting.
Yeah.